Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greenwood with another tutorial video here, and this one is about solving equations. So let's get right into it. Solving equations with algebra is really like solving a mathematical puzzle using mathematical operations. So as you think about this word operations, it's important to remember that there are four that we talk about typically, and those are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. If you try that, it's hard to type that and talk at the same time. So there's our four operations that we typically use when solving equations, typically one step, two step. We'll do things like parentheses and distribute a little bit as we get farther along. So here we go. So basically a one-step equation, you got to do one step to solve. A two-step equation, you have to do two steps to solve. And then you'll see things called multi-step, which just means you're doing two or more. So usually that's referred to things like parentheses and other mess. So step one is to solve a one-step equation. So we'll go through a couple of examples. I did type out how it reads in English, and that's a really important thing to know so you know how to solve the equation. So we see this 4x equals negative 76. It reads 4 times x equals negative 76. And so we need to play the opposite game. So like the opposite of left is right, the opposite of up is down, the opposite of addition is subtraction, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So if knowing this is going to be times, the opposite of times is divide. And so we play the opposite game to solve equations. So when I take 4 divided by 4, I get 1x, or just x. And in my calculator, I take negative 76 divided by 4, which you can go check in your calculator, is a negative 19. Again, I really like that decimal scientific calculator, and I'll be putting up a link in Teams for that if you would like to have it. Second equation, negative 11 equals r plus 5. That's how that reads. So the operation I see is plus. So the opposite of plus is minus. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So with multiplication and division, we want to make this identity become 1x. Here we want to zero out the extra, the addition and subtraction. So 5 minus 5 is 0. That's what we're going for. And so we have r equals negative 11 minus 5. Double check in your calculator. But that's negative 16. And if you think number lines, let me draw a quick number line here. Right, so think back like middle school, maybe elementary school, you did some number lines. And we'll say green this way is positive, and minus is red, that's negative. And the number I've got is negative 11. If I go minus 5, I'm going this direction. I'm going to go that way by 5 more units. So if I count here, that would be negative 12, negative 13, negative 14, negative 15, negative 16. So that's how we get to negative 16. That's the concept. Okay? There's one-step equations. Go back and pause the video if you need to take some notes. And we'll move on to two-step. So here, this two-step equation, you'll see we've got, this one reads 110 equals 7 times n minus 9. So with these, I like to start by undoing the addition and subtraction first. So we've got a minus, and then we've also got, we use red. Yeah, red's fine. And then we'll undo times. So minus, the opposite of minus is plus, or subtract is addition. So this one's going to require 2 steps to solve. So I'm going to add 9 to my negative 9, so those zero out. 110 plus 9 is 119, and that equals 7n. And one thing I kind of forgot to show, you have probably had teachers in the past that draw this dashed line down there so you know what goes on either side. So if I add 9 to the right side, I have to add 9 to the left side to keep them balanced. Feel free to use that strategy if you like it. If you haven't heard that strategy before, you can join me in a meeting and I can explain how that works. Lastly, we have times, so 7 times n. Make sure that looks like an n here. Okay. So the opposite of times is divide. So we'll divide this by 7, and we'll divide this by 7. And then in our calculator, we'll get 7 divided by 7, that's 1n, or n, which is our goal. That's our hidden number there. And then 119 divided by 7, I want to say is 17. So double check me in your calculator, but that should be good to go. Okay, they're solving one-step and two-step equations. And in the next video, I'll be talking about how to solve multi-step, as well as showing you how to play the number game. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.